Here we have 5 parallel lines. In the music world, we call that a staff. The staff has 5 lines, and we count them from the bottom. This is the first line. There's the second, third, fourth, and fifth. And notice we counted them from the bottom up. Now, between these lines are what we call spaces. And in the staff, there are 4 spaces, also counting from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, we have things called notes, and notes can be on the lines or the spaces. Here we have a space note because it's in the space and the line touches on the top and the bottom. Here we have a line note, and the line goes right through the middle of it. So here's the space note again, and here is the line note. See that? Let's have a little quiz. All right, is this a line note or a space note? If you said space note, you are right. Now for extra credit, what space is it on? The first, second, third, or fourth? If you said second space, you are right. Great job. Okay, let's do another one. Is this a line note or a space note? If you said line note, you are right. Now, which line is it on? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? It is on the 4th line, exactly. All right, let's move on. Which is this, a space note or a line note? It is a space note, that's right. And which space is it on? Remember, there are 4 spaces. It is the first space, exactly. Here's another one. Line note or space note? Did you say space note? Pat yourself on the back if you did. And which space is it on? The 4th space, exactly. All right, here's another one. Line note or space note? It is a line note. And which line is it on? The 5th line, exactly, at the very top. And last one, what's this? Line note or space note? The line note, exactly. And is it on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th line? The 1st line. Great job. Okay, now it is time for a story. Once upon a time, there was a staff. It was such a happy place that space notes came along, and they just hung out with the staff. And pretty soon, the line notes came along, and they were all happy. Until after a while, they weren't. The space notes weren't happy, and the line notes weren't happy. So the staff didn't know what was wrong, so it called on Mrs. Treble Clef to come along and see if she could help. And she said, "Line notes, why are you so unhappy?" And they said, "Well, we like being notes, but everybody just calls us Notes. We don't have a name. You have a name. You are Mrs. Treble Clef." Well, Mrs. Treble Clef said, "You know what? I have an idea. I'm going to give you all names from the musical alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Oh, they said, "Well, how? How do you know which one is which?" And she goes, "Well, you know what? I also have another name." And they're like, "What? How come you get 2 names and we don't have any names yet?" She said, "Well, wait a minute. I'm also known as the G clef. And that's because I wrap around the G line." Well, this made the notes very happy. In fact, one note was so happy it did a somersault. And it said, "Does that mean my name is G?" And Mrs. Treble Clef said, "Why, yes, it is. You are very clever." Well, then the first space note was so excited to hear this, it came on in and said, "I'm below G. Does that mean my new name is F?" And Mrs. Treble Clef said, "Yes, it is. Very good." Well, then the first line note said, my name must be. Can you guess what that name might be right here for this note? E, that's right. That is the E. Well, then the second space note came flying in from the right and said, my name must be H. And Mrs. Treble Clef said, oh, no. There are no H's in the musical alphabet. After G, we start over with A again. So then the note got very excited and said, well, then is my new note A? And Mrs. Treble Clef said, yes, it is. Well, the third line note got so excited and did a somersault and said, my name must be, what do you think? Did you say B? You are right. Well, then the third space note dropped in from the ceiling and said, I must be, what do you think? C, that's right. Mrs. Treble Clef said, yes, you are absolutely right. Well, then the fourth line got super excited. It also did a cartwheel and said, I must be, what do you think? D, that's right. Well, then the fourth space note came flying in and said, I must be, what comes after D? E, that's right. Well, the last note, the fifth line, did a somersault and said, I must be, what do you think? F, exactly. And so they all had names. But E and F noticed there were two other notes that were also E and F. And they asked Mrs. Treble Clef, are those our twins? And she said, well, not really. See, this one is on a line and you are on a space. This F is on a space and this F, you are on a line. They said, okay. So now that they all had their own names, the line notes decided to go off on their own. And when they did that, the space notes realized, oh, look, we spell a word, F-A-C-E. That spells the word face. Oh, they were so excited. Well, they took off. And then the line notes, they heard about the space notes spelling a word. They came back in hoping they could have a word. But when they looked at their letters, they went, Eggbadif. What is Eggbadif? I don't think that's a word. Well, the space notes came back in and they said, Eggbadif? That's no word. And they laughed at them and they said, wait a minute. You know what? Maybe Eggbadif doesn't spell a word, but you can make a sentence using words with those letters. Like this, E-G-B-D-F. Well, they thought, what kind of sentence would that be? And the space notes remembered that long time ago, music teachers used to teach their students saying, the way you can remember is using the sentence, every good boy does fine. And then a little later they said, well, how about every good boy deserves fudge? But you know what? There are so many words that could start with EGBDF. I think it's your turn to come up with your own sentence. Pause the video now if you would like to make your own sentence. Now let's play a little game that will help you remember the names of the line notes and the space notes. And it goes like this. Pitch game, note name, with an E and a G and a B, D, F and an F, A, C, E. All right? Be my echo. Pitch game, note name. With an E and a G and a B, D, F. And an F, A, C, E. All right, let's do again. Be my echo. This time I'm going to do 2 parts. Pitch game, note name, with an E and a G and a B, D, F. and an F, A, C, E. All right, let's do the whole thing. If you want to listen one more time, go for it and say it with me a second time. Or go ahead with me right now. Here we go. Pitch game, note name, with an E and a G and a B, D, F and an F, A, C, E. Again, pitch game, note name, with an E and a G and a B, D, F and an F, A, C, E. So this is how the game works. You say that little poem because that will help you learn the letters. And then you could have a leader use the hand staff. Do you notice we have 5 fingers to represent the 5 lines, and there's going to be 4 spaces between those fingers, okay? So you'll say your poem, and then the leader will say like second line and point to their ring finger right here, and that would be the G, right? So everybody can answer what that name is. Or they might say third space, which would be what? C, that's right. Or fifth line, which would be F, okay? So you do a few of those, then you say your poem again, do some more, maybe change leaders. So have fun with that.